Dear children, welcome back to the online class of Sri Gokulam Public School. Today, let's study about the concept price elasticity of supply. Price elasticity of supply is a technical word used to denote change in supply due to change in price. It gives us a quantitative measurement about change in supply due to change in price. It is defined as the degree of responsiveness of supply to change in price. It's a percentage concept. That is, it is equal to percentage change in supply due to percentage change in price. Based on the degree of responsiveness of supply to change in price, we have 5 types of elasticity of supply. Just like the degree of responsiveness of demand to change in price, that we already studied. 5 types of elasticity of demand. Here also we have 5 types of elasticity of supply. What are they? Number 1, perfectly elastic supply. That is, elasticity of supply is equal to infinity. Second, perfectly inelastic supply. That is, elasticity of supply is equal to 0. Third one, elastic supply. That is, elasticity of supply is greater than 1. Fourth one, inelastic supply. Elasticity of supply is less than 1. Fifth one, unitary elastic supply. That is, elasticity of supply is equal to 1 or equal to unity. Okay? What do you mean by perfectly elastic supply? The extreme case. That is, elasticity of supply is equal to infinity. That is, supply is infinite, at the prevailing price. Supply changes even without a change in price. That is, supply is infinite at the prevailing price. Supply changes without change in price. Okay? So, what is the shape of the supply curve? If the elasticity of supply is infinity or supply is infinite, at the prevailing price, supply curve is a horizontal line parallel to OX axis. Okay? How can you say? In the case of perfectly elastic supply, supply curve is a horizontal line parallel to OX axis. Here, elasticity of supply is equal to infinity. That is, supply infinite, at the prevailing price. Or you can say, supply changes without change in price. Okay. Now, the second case, just the opposite of the first case. Perfectly inelastic supply. That is, elasticity of supply is equal to 0. Supply is non-responsive. How can you say that? Whatever may be the price, whether the price is high or low, supply remains more or less the same. That is, elasticity of supply is equal to 0. It is non-responsive. It is not at all responding to price changes. That is, whatever may be the price, whether the price is high or low, supply remains the same. Here, supply curve is a vertical straight line parallel to OY axis. Okay? Supply curve is a vertical straight line parallel to OY axis. Elasticity of supply is equal to 0. Just the opposite of the first case. Now the third one, elastic supply. Elasticity of supply is greater than 1 or greater than unity. Here, elastic supply can be defined as if the percentage change in quantity supplied is greater than percentage change in price, supply is said to be elastic. How can you say? If the percentage change in quantity supplied is greater than percentage change in price, we can say it is elastic supply. That is, elasticity of supply is greater than 1. It's an upward sloping supply curve starting from y-axis or extending towards y-axis. Okay, how can you draw an upward sloping supply curve starting from y-axis or supply curve extending towards y-axis? Such a curve is equal to elasticity of supply greater than 1. That is, percentage change in quantity supplied is greater than percentage change in price. Okay. Now the next case, inelastic supply. Elasticity of supply is less than 1 or less than unity. It is defined as percentage change in quantity supplied is less than percentage change in price. What is the shape of the supply curve? Upward sloping supply curve starting from x-axis, or you can say upward sloping supply curve extending towards x-axis. Elasticity of supply is less than 1. That is, percentage change in quantity supplied is less than percentage change in price. Okay. Now next one, unitary elastic. Elasticity of supply is equal to 1 or equal to unity. Here, percentage change in quantity supplied is equal to percentage change in price. Okay. How can you say? Percentage change in quantity supplied is equal to percentage change in price. Upward sloping supply curve starting from the origin or supply curve, extending towards the origin. Okay. So, 5 types of elasticity of supply: perfectly elastic supply, horizontal line; perfectly inelastic supply, vertical straight line; supply curve extending towards y-axis, that is elasticity of supply greater than 1; supply curve extending towards x-axis, that is less than 1, extending towards the origin. How can you say? Infinity horizontal, 0 vertical, greater than 1 supply curve extending towards y-axis, less than 1 supply curve extending towards x-axis, equal to 1 supply curve extending towards the origin or starting from the origin. All these 5 types, you can show under a single diagram like this: OX axis supply, OY axis price. Vertical, horizontal, upward sloping supply curve extending towards the origin, greater than 1 extending towards y-axis, less than 1 extending towards x-axis. Okay. How can you draw under a single diagram? Listen carefully. Horizontal, vertical, the 2 extreme cases. Extending towards the origin, that is equal to 1. Other cases, other possibilities: extending towards y-axis, greater than 1. Extending towards x-axis, less than 1. Okay? Thank you.